Hello guys, Mark McCall here with Photoshop tips and tricks, and today we are going to be doing a light painting. Light painting is very dramatic and it provides a look that you just can't get in a single exposure unless of course you want to take 50 flashes out to a location and set them all off at the same time. A light painting is really just taking the same photograph multiple times, just moving your flash in between exposures and then blending them together in Photoshop. These are typically done at night and provides, like I said, a very dramatic end result. So here we have a C-130J at the flight line at Dyess Air Force Base in Abilene. I typically choose the western sky to look into because I have a nice beautiful sunset, and there are about I'm saying about 20 different flash pops in this photograph. So I'm going to be showing you the individual photographs and then how to blend them together, and you can create this on your own or for a client. This is the flash we've used, a Metz 45 CL4. Now you don't have to use a Metz or any particular flash. You can use what you have. Canon, Nikon. I prefer the Metz because I can dial in the exact aperture I want the flash to fire at, and it compensates for distance regardless of how far away your subject is. So that's the flash that I typically use. I'm going to show you another example of a light painting I did for a commercial client. This is Centennial Bank on Quaker Avenue in Lubbock, Texas. There's about 15 to 20 flash pops in this in this image. So I'm going to show you how to create this image for yourself and for a client. It can be a great moneymaker for you, especially at slow times of the year when you're not shooting anything. You can go out and shoot a commercial building and try to sell that to either the builder or the business in question. Okay, let's get back to the C-130. And remember, your flash moves in between each exposure, but your camera stays in the same place. Okay, keep your camera in the same place, lock down the focus or turn the focus off, get the focal length that you want, showing all of your subject or as little of your subject, doesn't really matter, as long as the camera stays in one spot. All you're going to move in between exposures is the flash. Okay, I'm going to show you a few photographs here. You can see my flash holder there firing into one of the propellers of the engine. Here he is firing into the front of that engine nacelle. And so you kind of get the idea. So we're going to pull these aside. So we're going to start off by taking a shot for the sky. We want to render the sky as bright or as dark as we want it. Okay, this is great because you can control how light or dark your sky is simply by using a faster or slower shutter speed. I would recommend keeping your aperture at f8, f11, something like that. F16 might be too much power, but f8 or f11 should do just fine. Take an exposure for your background and then start bringing in the individual photographs that you've taken. Okay. Let's start at the beginning. Okay, this was the very first shot that we took, the first shot we took after we took the shot of the sky. Now, what you want to do in Photoshop is to bring this image over on top of that one. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Throw that layer away. I'm going to bring this image over on top of this one. But here's what's important. You want to hold down your shift key when you're moving it over so the image will stay in perfect registration with the one underneath. And here's the real magic. The layer mode will be normal. Change that to lighten. And here's that image that's been drug in. It only lets the lighter part of the image through. Okay, we're going to close that one. We're going to go to the next one. Hold down the shift key, then click and drag, and then change the layer mode from normal to lighten. And we can turn it off and on. You see how it's starting to light up the aircraft? Okay, we're going to close that one, get the next one. We can drag the whole image over, drop it, change the layer mode to lighten. You see how the aircraft is just coming to life? Okay, but if you'll notice, the file size right here in the bottom part of that image is really starting to climb. It's already at 241 megabytes. Okay, there is a way that you can keep that file size down and not make it so heavy your computer can't deal with it. Okay, and here's how you'll do that. Instead of bringing the whole image, just bring over the part that's lit up. We're going to circle that, select our Move tool, hold our Shift key down, click and drag this over. Okay, you see this part that we drug over? When we change the layer mode from normal to lighten, look at that. Amazing, amazing. And so we've only increased the file size just a little bit this time. Okay, so for the rest of this tutorial, we're just going to drag pieces over. Okay, and if you'll notice, my little man has been moving down the side of the aircraft. So we're going to grab this part right here. And we may have to do some cleanup because he is showing in some of our photographs. So in this one, he may leave a shadow. So we're going to change the layer mode from normal to lighten. Yeah, and you can see that he left a little bit of a shadow there, but that's not bad. We can clean that up. Look at that. How that's really lightened. And I'm going to see if we can adjust the levels just a little bit to make it blend in just a little bit more. There we go. Awesome. Okay, get rid of that image. Go to the next one. You'll notice he's just working his way down the aircraft. Okay, we're going to grab the parts that are lit up. Grab our Move tool, hold down our Shift key, and drag it to our base image. Okay, change the layer mode from normal to lighten. Okay, get rid of that one. Get the next one. You want to grab everywhere there's light. Okay, and it looks like this time we got some of the propeller, we got some of the wingtip, we've got some of the tarmac. Grab our Move tool, hold down our Shift, and drag it over to our base image. Change the layer mode from normal to lighten. Is that amazing? It only lets through the part of the image that's lit up by flash. Okay, I can't tell if we've used this one yet or not, but let's give it a try. And you really can't go wrong with this, folks. Once you change the layer mode from normal to lighten, it really just blends in. It's looking really nice. Okay, it looks like here we've lit up part of the engine nacelles, the wingtip. It looks like we also have some light here on the runway. We're going to bring both of those over. Change the layer mode from normal to lighten. Oops. There we go. See the before and after. It looks like we've got a good light on the engine nacelle here. Drag it over. Change the layer mode from normal to lighten. Okay. Okay, we've got several other photographs. Let's see if we can grab those. Okay, just waiting for our computer to catch up. We're at Dyess Air Force Base. Here's some images of the back part of the aircraft. For this shot, our flash man is totally out of the frame, but we're going to grab everything that he lit up with his flash and just drag that part over. By the way, your selection tool has to be inside, excuse me, the move tool has to be inside the dancing ants when you grab it and move it to your base image. Okay, change the layer mode from normal to lighten. Isn't that great? And we're just going to do that, so forth and so on. This looks pretty much like the same thing. We're going to ditch that one. Here's a part that's not showing. Change the layer mode from normal to lighten. Awesome. You can see the before and after. And like I said, we'll probably need to do some cleanup when we're completely done. And we used a pretty fairly wide focal length, so I may change this perspective as well. Nothing new on that one, so we're going to get rid of it. Several of these are just done over and over, so we're going to grab that one. Lighten. If you'll notice, our file size hasn't climbed all that much. If we're not using the entire image of another shot to build the light on this aircraft, the file size isn't going to get too high that we can't manage it. Yeah, we're probably going to want that part. Awesome. I love that. Love that. Okay, that's pretty close to what we're looking for. So just to recap, I'm going to turn the individual layers off so you can see how we've built it up. Okay, there's our first shot exposing for the sky. And we're just going to add the individual flash pops. Awesome. Okay, we're pretty much done with our image as far as building it. Now we're just going to do some cleanup work. We're going to flatten that. By the way, we wouldn't even have to do cleanup as long as the guy holding your flash isn't standing between you and your subject. If he's not standing between you and your subject, you're not going to have to do any cleanup work. And it looks like we're a little bit off on our exposures. See how that looks a little bit blurry? It's because it wasn't in complete registration, and that means the camera probably moved just slightly during the exposure. But for now, we're going to leave it just for the sake of argument. Okay, one of my all-time favorite tools to use is the patch tool, because it really just grabs texture. Okay, and as long as that stays in registration, you can quickly clean up things in your image because it's using texture from the surrounding area. And it gets hard when you're very close to something, so you may have to switch over and use the clone stamp tool. Okay, in the sake of speed, we're just going to let that go. We're going to let him go. Okay, there's our base image. This could be cleaned up, this could be cleaned up. One of the things that I use to give an illustrated look is a program called Topaz. Topaz has a filter called Detail Boost, and I like it because it gives an illustrated look. So we're going to go to Filter, Topaz. Topaz Adjust is the name of the program, and the filter is called Topaz Adjust. Excuse me, Topaz Detail Boost. We're going to pull that up and just look at that thing start to look like it's just a little bit illustrated. And we're going to let that apply. There we go. And then we are going to mask it off from the surrounding area because it will add noise. You can tell right here in the sky. See how noisy that is? So we're going to erase this. And you don't have to be spot on with it. Just enough to get rid of the noise in the surrounding area. But you want to leave it in the skin of the aircraft. You can see shadows of our flash man. Awesome, there's the before and after. It gives a little bit of an illustrated look. So if I was doing this for print competition or for a client, I would definitely clean it up more than this, but that's pretty much the gist of it. But I noticed when I was using a wide angle lens, look how bulbous the front end of this aircraft looks. So to kind of remedy that, I'm going to stretch the back part of this image as so. I'm going to transform it, holding down my control key. I'm going to stretch the tail end out. That way I don't have this big bulbous looking area right here. Pull that out just a little bit more. Might even pull it out just a little bit. There we go. Awesome. There you have it, folks. A light painting done by just moving your flash around.